Now there's one thing I've always had my heart set on for this camper van build, and that is a full-size shower. Because if you've been hill walking, cycling, surfing, paddleboarding, you get back, you're cold and wet and miserable, you want a hot water shower. And I think it goes in this corner here. Bed at the back, power pack there, and a massive 800 by 800 quadrant shower. I've also got a funny little thought that we can utilise this door because it's kind of in the way, but could we turn that problem into an asset? Could I actually make that almost like a mini airing cupboard? I think it's possible, but I need to build a timber structure to get that space. Oh, position that perfectly. Right, now I've cut all the wood to size, and what I'm going to do is basically build a false floor. But rather than a solid piece of timber, I'm going to make it out of these slats, which means when you return with a wetsuit or dirty boots, you can put them in this airing cupboard. That will dry them out nicely, and all the water can fall through the holes. I think that looks quite good as well. That looks bang on. That is going nowhere, and actually provides me with a nice level floor, and I can possibly fix from underneath into the back of the shower wall and somewhere to drain my dirty boots, wetsuits, and it'll fall into here and run away perfectly. Nice little cubby hole this, and that is where the heater is. What a bonus. Just to show it's solid, but without words. Did you get that? Oh, tell you what, that's not bad. I have left this wall slightly loose to make sure I get it absolutely square and we don't have a big gap, because otherwise the water will run down there. So now I can go outside and fix this piece up through there. I've got almost a shower cubicle. Well, I've got a corner. Now, one thing I'm weirdly quite excited about is the tap in the camper van. Not just because it's a tap, but because I'm going to house it here in the side of the shower unit. And I know what you're thinking, but it sticks out, so when the van is in van mode, it's going to get in the way. Oh no, it's a flexible tap. Genius! Okay, now I've drilled those two holes because this is the nut that goes on the bottom of the tap, and I don't want it protruding and spinning. Then the tap will come through from the top, and that's completely hidden and out the way. I'll poke that through there, that through there. That's gonna go, oh, yes. Just perfect, that is. Oh, why do they always make tap tails the same length? So you can't thread them through anything. There we go. Oh, yes. That's better than being underneath a sink upside down with a spanner in your hand. Actually, I could just do that, couldn't I? That'd be easier. Ah, that's in the wrong place. It needs to be there. But that's okay, because there's two little screws that I can now wind them in, and that will hold it exactly where I want it. I'm sure those screws aren't really meant to be going into a piece of wood, but they work for me. Now that is how you fit a tap easily. Now I just want to see what it looks like in the van. Right. Now hopefully that, oh, it's tight. Ha ha! Look at that. Perfect. Yeah, plenty of movement on the actual tap. And then, when it's not in use. What tap? I can't see a tap. That opens all the van up to be used as an actual van. Then when you go into camper mode, hey presto. I like that. Taps are important in design. So now, just pop a screw in there. And two more from the outside. So the shower doesn't really look very showery at the moment, but today I'm going to fit the thermostatic mixer bar and the shower head, and it's matte black. It's going to look stunning, I hope. Top tip for you, whenever you buy a shower, it typically comes with one of these things and they're utterly useless. So stick that in the bin and buy yourself one of these. This means that you can actually screw that into the back wall properly, mechanical fixing, and then when you attach your riser bar, it actually has something to fix to. They are rubbish. That means you just hang it off one fixing in the middle of this riser bar here. So top tip, invest about a tenner in a couple of those. It's usually a metre up in a household, but they have taller ceilings. So I might want to do it top down, and this will go where it goes. Yes. So we won't do the up, we'll do the down. That's nice and tight. Now I need to see that the mixer actually fits. I've got this spacing correct. Oh, not yet, but a little dry run. It only fits perfectly. Now we can wind them on. Now all I need to do is got the two rubber washers, pop them in there to create the seal. I think that's going to be about the right size, you know. Oh, rubber washer, is it in there already? No, where's my rubber washer? It's done falling out, isn't it? Go and get the rubber washer, shall I? There it is on the floor, covered in sawdust. Yes, that will help with its waterproofness, won't it? 30. Oh, it could go up a little bit because no one wants to shower like that, do they? I'm running out of room. Should have bought a bigger ambulance. I'm going to put 2 screws in this just because it's a camper van. My shower travels at 70 miles an hour. Usually they do no miles an hour. thing, the bit that goes about there with the Flexi handheld isn't on, is it? Oh, I thought I'd done so well. Oh my goodness, I should have done it right at the very beginning. Ugh. Now, which side do I want the handheld? Doesn't matter, you can spin it around. Oh, yes. Oh, that's close. Smaller hair. If I get myself some smaller hair, that's perfect. Hey! Ooh, spring-loaded. I've not got much room for error in here. Don't like it. Top's in. My party trick. Oh, magnetic. Got a slight confession. I've been worried about how I'm going to hold the doors together. Didn't really look at the magnets. The only thing that annoys me is these horrible shiny handles. They will be replaced with something brilliant. I don't know what it is yet. Now, the one thing to remember when using this push fit stuff is to put these little inserts in. I think they're called tube inserts. If you don't put these tube inserts in, when you put the fixing on, it can crush the pipe. So you've got to make sure you put them in. Now, all you need to do, make sure that's undone, push it on, hence the phrase push fit, and then give that a turn. And it blows my mind that that's watertight for mains pressure. Imagine doing that in copper. It would look more beautiful, but you'd be soldering and fluxing and bleh. We'll save the copper for the beautiful bits. Now, my first plan was to run the hot tap over the cold tap, but it just didn't look neat enough. And I'm a bit of a perfectionist, even though I know it's the back of the shower. I'm in the airing cupboard. So I've got a new plan. I'm going to run the cold straight up, nice and neat, with a single T off to this. Then the hot, instead of going over it, the hot's going to run up here into a T and then go up, over, down and in. And that means none of the pipe work will be crossing over because that looked messy. It's more work, but it's worth it. And I'll figure out how to cover those holes, possibly with a nice sticker. So normally that would be an elbow, but because of my new plan, I'm actually going to put a T on there. And what I'd like to do is have that spacing there, the same as that spacing. No. Now, for some strange reason, I'm really struggling with getting these clips to stand off enough because they naturally want to hold the pipe quite close to the timber. But unfortunately, up here, that brings it out by about 50 mil. So I'm going to space these clips out using another bit of pipe. Huh? Genius. But I'm still confused as to why these clips aren't just longer. Weird. It's absolutely genius. Ta-da! I tell you what, I'm chuffed with that. Not only the plumbing, which is now a lot neater, but also Inventing the clip spacer. That looks brilliant now. Happy with that. Now I'm quite lucky because my ambulance does have these cubby holes on the outside and they're lockable. So I want to utilise this space. Previously they had old batteries in them that were dead. I'm thinking these would make the perfect place to mount the water heater, expansion tank and water pump. However, I think I've got about 1 millimetre to play with. 260. It's so close. Now if I can get the water heater in this side and the pressure vessel and water pump in the other side, that frees up everything else. This has got to fit. Ooh. Ah. Would you believe it's catching on that screw head? That's how close we're talking. It's going to go. Yes! Yes! Now if I move the water heater to the left a bit, I've actually got space for the pump to go there, which means the cold water can come through there from the tank, in here, out there, tees off to go to the shower, comes this way and into the cold feed, heats up, out and over there. Now from experience you need a pressure release valve because the cold water comes flowing in here. As it gets hot, it expands and needs somewhere to go. So I'm going to fit this, and that has a little tube that goes on there. I'll drill a hole in the floor, that goes out the hole, and then if there is any back pressure, it just goes out onto the floor. Now I'm going to add this little filter. It's only a £5, but it means there's no debris going to get in the pump. Now, if you use plastic pipe, it can be a little bit noisier. However, I'm quite confident that because this is externally mounted, I should be okay. And that's almost done. That needs to go into there, then the hot comes out and goes that way. It's going to work. The drainage valve needs to be downwards, like that. I will put some PTFE tape on that. Always feels a bit weird combining plastic push-fit pipe with brass fixings and compression joints, but it works. Drill a hole, expansion, then all I need to do is connect that out that way. Drill a big hole in the back of that. Sounds hollow. I'll have a little look first. Actually, I can't get under the ambulance, so I'm going to take it over the road to my mate's pit so I can get underneath it and then just connect a pipe from there to there ×2. And then I'll have a shower that works. Right, we're getting there, aren't we? Slowly but slowly. Oh, happy days. That is mounted perfectly. I don't like working down low in these cupboards, but the fact of being able to utilise this space makes me very happy. That means this is all in here for easy maintenance. The cupboard the other side is completely empty. I've got my hot air maker for the wet room to dry my wetsuits. That is a good day's work. I'm pleased with that.